Hey, what's up, Internet? I'm Simon. I'm in Italy, where we've got a little bit more freedom now here in the last week. We're allowed to go to the park, which is nice. It's awesome. Good weather here, making the most of it. I just want to comment real quick on London Real. I don't know if you've heard of London Real or not, but it's basically Brian Rose is this guy, and he's from the States, I believe, and he's in England, and he interviews people. And he's done 3 recent interviews with David Icke, the controversial David Icke. And their last conversation they had together broke live stream viewer records with over 1,300,000 plus viewers. So great job, impressive. My initial impression of Brian was this guy in a power vest and a suit, kind of like a far right conservative, and like cigar smoking, whiskey drinking, freedom loving. But nothing wrong with that. I just kind of took him, maybe I took him the wrong way. And when I did tune in to watch his interview, his second interview with David Icke, I really enjoyed it. And I really liked the way that Brian interviewed him. He let him speak, he listened to him, he wasn't interrupting him, he wasn't being confrontational, he gave him the chance to say what he wanted to say. I think we need more of that, and definitely need people responding to these briefings and interviews and conversations. People responding to them, fact-checking them, debating it, discussing it. It's all good. That's what we should be doing. As far as David Icke goes, I mean, if you've never really followed him, you're gonna hear people say that he's crazy, and people are entitled to that opinion that he is crazy. Depends on your point of view. It's when I watch him speak, I don't hear hate and I don't hear fear. I hear somebody who's expressing himself, and maybe you can argue that he's doing that in a way that self-promotes him or helps him sell books or whatever, but he's interesting to listen to. He's enjoyable. I would say that he is, in a way, charming, and he is funny. He's got that British humor, which so many people appreciate. I appreciate it. My wife and I really enjoy listening to David Icke. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't think Brian Rose agrees with everything he says, but he listens to him and gives us the opportunity to listen to people that YouTube and Facebook and other platforms are outright banning. I've heard some people label him as hate speech, which is just absolutely crazy to me, that you could label someone speaking so calmly and also passionately and call it hate speech. I don't see it. Something that Brian and David talked about was these things that we feel from our heart, from our gut, and from our brain. And I think that's something I didn't think about too much before, and that helped me kind of start thinking about, where do my reactions to things come from? What are they based on? Are they based on logic, on feeling, or instinct? And I think it's great to start trying to think about, why do we react to things the way that we do, and what are we afraid of? And I respect that if you're in the the medical field, that you have a completely different point of view listening to these things, and it might be really frustrating for you to hear things that you know to be wrong. But we the people, we the regular people, we want to hear from people. We don't want to just read articles. We don't want to just see statements. We don't want to see people at podiums who don't take questions. We want to see conversations between people. So I'm very thankful for that, and I want to see more of that. So thanks, Brian. Yeah, check out London Real. Entertaining. It makes you think, which is great. I think anything that can make us think a little bit more, or think about things in a different way, is good. It's good for our brain. It's good for society. So I know lots of you will absolutely disagree with what I'm saying, and you're free to disagree. Again, we're going to lose a lot more by just not allowing people to have conversations than actually listening to people. Because maybe a whole bunch of people don't want to hear it, but there's a bunch of us that do. You know, who gets to say who we should be listening to and who we shouldn't? You know, it's up to everyone to choose for themselves. So thanks, Brian, and looking forward to your future interviews. Keep up the great work.
The greatest thing apart from fear is they have to divide and rule us. So they divide us on race and sexuality and political view and all the rest of it. And if we could just find the peace to be at peace with others having a different view to us, those fault lines would fall. And we would start to see that whether you are a Jew or a Muslim or a transgender or black, white, whatever, these are just different experiences of the same infinite state of awareness. They're just different points of attention in the same state of awareness. We are each other. And the key is you believe what you want to believe, but don't seek to impose it on anyone else. I don't care what people believe. I don't care what they think or what their views are. I only care when they seek to impose them on other people. That's when the problem starts. So why can't I sit with a Muslim and a Jew and a Christian and a Hindu and disagree with their belief systems, because don't buy any of them, and yet we just have a friendly chat? No need for conflict, no need for fighting. I don't agree with you. It's very interesting what you're saying, though. There's some things there, I do resonate with a bit of whatever you all say. I just don't buy the whole belief system. But anyway, let's have a cup of tea and a chat, okay? Nice to meet you. Let's have a chat again. There's no need for conflict. Conflict comes, and divide and rule comes, when each of those is trying to impose their belief on the others or me. That's when the conflict comes. One of the great things that has to happen for us to come together is people have to find peace in other people having different opinions, because we are expressions of all that is, has been, and ever can be. And what am I saying when I say that? We are expressions of all possibility, all possibility. So what the hell are we doing insisting that everyone shares a sense of the possible that we have? We're dealing with all possibility. We should be celebrating real diversity, not the frickin' illusion of it with a woke. We should be celebrating real diversity and celebrating the uniqueness and the spontaneity and the different ways and angles of seeing everything. We should be celebrating that. It's how we learn from each other. But when you think, I am right, this is the woke mentality, which is orchestrated by the 1%, by the way. That's why billionaires fund it, like Soros. I am right. And therefore, by definition, Brian, if I am right, you're saying something different to me, so you must be wrong. And if you're wrong, what's it matter if you don't have freedom of speech? You're wrong, right? But when we say everyone has a right to their opinion, everyone has a right to their view, and there's no one who's all right and there's no one who's all wrong. It's just a matter of degree. When we say that and we're at peace with it, we can disagree on the way we see the world and be in perfect harmony with each other. Because no matter what our labels and the divisions and the fault lines that are used to divide us, this cult has every single one of us in its gun sight. Can you not see that now? Hindus are locked down, Christians are locked down, Jews are locked down. Hello? Let this be the time when we see the fallacy and the farce of allowing ourselves to be divided and ruled by our beliefs and our belief in I am right, and therefore no one else should be able to have a different opinion to me, because that's how the cult works. Plays groups off against each other, sets them at war with each other, and if they just looked up, they'd realize that the same hands are holding all the strings while we fight down here. Let's come together, realize what's going on and where this is going, and cease to be divided and ruled. We're in this together, and we'll get out of it together.